So apparently we've got ourselves a potential killing of two stories with one stone.
Oh, wow.
Because the Baltimore Ravens, this according to Adam Schefter, have offered Odell Beckham Jr. a contract.
Oh.
Now,
okay.
his asking price was down reportedly from the $20 million a year he was seeking to the $15 million a year range that he was seeking. And he kind of threw out there on social media and had hinted at the fact that he felt like he was worth more than $4 million a year. So I feel like it's, somewhere in the middle there, maybe is where the likely landing spot is on all this. But the likely landing spot or possible landing spot could be Baltimore, as they have offered Odell Beckham Jr. a contract, which just makes you wonder, are they offering Odell Beckham Jr. a contract to try and get the attention of somebody else to maybe possibly come back and try and make things right there? Could this be a little bit of an olive branch to Lamar Jackson, and maybe the Baltimore Ravens feel like, look, if we can't give him the $231 million guaranteed, at least we can get him one of everybody's favorite wide receivers and players in the NFL and a little bit more help on that offense. Maybe we got two things going on here at the same time.
Yeah, and I also think, though, it could be this is an interesting move to me. And you guys tell me if I'm seeing this wrong. When as of Odell Beckham, because as of right now, we don't know if anyone else has offered him anything. We know the Jets are interested. I believe they were just both out at a basketball game recently, both Odell and Robert Saleh, who is close with the new Phoenix Suns owner, but – and I know that's where Odell Beckham trains in the offseason, but they were just both out there together randomly. That being said, it seems like the Baltimore is the only one that's really made an offer, at least trying to get his services officially done so. If Odell says no, is that somewhat of an indictment on Lamar Jackson? I mean, this is obviously assuming that Lamar comes back to the Baltimore Ravens and doesn't sit out the season. But Baltimore's trying to do the best they can to supply him with guys around him to help him out. They're giving a guy who, is viewed, I guess, when healthy, as one of the top receivers in the league, or at least at one point was. And so now you're giving him a shot to come on the roster. And if he says no, is that like maybe another slap in the face to Lamar? Or do you think it just has more to do with the fact that Odell's got his eyes set on New York, joining Aaron Rodgers? They're, friends off the field, and that's what this more has to do with.
That might be more it. I think OBJ might even be holding out to see if he could get the contract that he wants. I mean,
that ain't happening.
Well, tell that to Lamar Jackson too, since we're on the same topic. It's like, I mean, for some reason they don't believe that, so he may be sitting there believing that there's the opportunity that maybe coming out of the draft, somebody doesn't get who they wanted to get, or things are a little bit more defined and how a team is going to look, and that could be his opportunity to get somewhere close to what it is he's looking for. I don't think it's because he doesn't want to play with Lamar Jackson. I think the order that I would put it in for me would be he's probably hoping that he can get a higher offer, or number two, play with Aaron Rodgers in New York and go back to that media market, where if he doesn't get the type of money that he was looking for, you're not making that money up in Baltimore, but you can make that type of money up in New York.
You also aren't making any money if you're not on a team, on a roster. So
that's
there
fair.
is that element of it too, where he's got to get on a roster and get back playing again at some point, doesn't he?
I mean, you would assume. I mean, but if that's the case, then why aren't we announcing that the deal is being done? If this is one of those situations where he has to get, like, he feels that desperation.
Maybe he has Lamar's agent.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Just going to leave that there.
I mean, Lamar, this is a great point, though.
Just saying.
Like, this is a possibility.
Maybe they have the same agent.
This is. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. Because I like Teo. I like Manti. I ain't going to do it. But I was going to fire a shot off. But
hey, Manti Te'o did all right. Listen, he recovered nicely.
I was going to say, though, the original girlfriend is both their agents.
That one, too.
Yeah. Okay, so I got it out there.
So if you were Odell Beckham Jr., because it looks like if he's got to do this on a 1-year prove-it deal to show everybody that he can still play at a high level, and then
stay healthy.
Yeah, and then if he wants to go get a contract elsewhere, to me, the team that would make all the sense in the world would be Kansas City. You just see what Juju Smith-Schuster did, and I know it's not the $20 million that he was seeking, but Juju had a pretty solid bounce-back year, and then parlay that into a multi-year contract with New England.
Can I add this to what you're saying, Jonas?
Yeah.
Every year for Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be a prove-it year for the rest of his career.
So he's too old, right?
So it's not, in theory, that is not the theory. In theory, OBJ is going to have to prove it every single year that he's on a roster. And those teams are going to have it situated that way.
Then would it be better for him to do it in Baltimore or with the Jets, where I feel like in Baltimore, like he could ultimately turn into the guy as far as the receiver position goes.
Right.
In New York with the Jets, they're kind of stacked.
With the AFC North,
like the Jets are kind of loaded, and they've got a lot of talent there. Garrett Wilson was
Alan Lazard
was phenomenal. It just feels like Baltimore would make the most sense if he was trying to put up some numbers and try and get the contract he's looking for on a prove-it deal next year in the offseason. That feels like it would make the most sense.
It's why I keep kind of going back to, like, would it be a slight to Lamar? I mean, yeah, the contract and how much he gets paid might matter, but kind of to Jonas's point, if you could be in a situation where you're the definitive clear-cut number one, and I don't know that he would get more targets and more receptions than Mark Andrews. It seems like since Mark Andrews has gotten there, that offense is really catered towards him, and Lamar's got a good chemistry with him. But there has to be an element of, you can go to New York and you can earn some marketing money and all that, but if he's only getting, 60 catches, 60-plus catches, where in Baltimore you might get 100, it's a big difference as far as how he's perceived in the league, and I think where he looks, where he's ranked at statistically speaking. And if you are an improved year every single year, that's a big difference too between you being a guy who just proved it and you being a guy that he had a good year, but we're kind of still looking for more, or maybe he's on the decline, right? I mean, that to me is still something that I think you have to factor into it if you were Odell Beckham, because as of right now, we don't know if New York's offered him anything. And so you might be waiting for an offer forever that never comes. And at some point, Baltimore has to move on. And they've got to continue to keep constructing this roster to help them win games.
It's crazy to think that this deal still isn't done. Like they're flirting openly with Aaron Rodgers and openly with OBJ, and the Jets still don't have either guy. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how the Jets operate when it comes to pursuing big-time names.
If that deal falls through, I am going to be – I don't know. I don't know, but I'm going to be very entertained.
How about
at the least?
Thankful.
At the minimum.
That's going to be one of the great storylines that we've gotten to do here on this show if this deal falls through.
Because the next chapter is just getting started.
So awesome.
So now what happens next?
Yeah. I wonder what it is. It's like the Jets keep negotiating. They keep kind of jabbing the Packers, keep giving them more and more jabs to try to get this deal done, but it's weird. I mean, I don't know if the Jets or, the Jets organization has any history of just continually jabbing people, and trying to prove their point, and trying to make it known like this is the best way of doing things.
Yeah.
What's that a playoff of?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It flew over my head.
I mean,
Woody Johnson, the owner of the Johnson & Johnson family?
Talking about?
What do you mean?
Oh. So you're talking about
you only needed one, right?
I'm saying they apparently can't get this thing done, and they just keep jabbing the Packers and Aaron Rodgers.
Can't get it right, but
I mean, maybe Rodgers doesn't want to be jabbed anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's
they just have a more modern approach towards where they how they handle this stuff, in comparison to other teams. So there's that whole stuff out there.
I mean, Pfizer. I mean, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd be doing all I can to put pressure on the other New York Jets to say, dude, look, offer a second round and a conditional second round next year. I'm coming to you for at least 2 years. All right, let's just say 2 years, and I will be when I get there I'll be your guy. You know, I'll be the guy you're looking for. I'll be like your Dr. Fauci.
I'm going to endorse Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, okay. That's an interesting approach. It's very interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Just,
I see that.
You know.
It'll come save the day. I mean, that's all.
I just think at some point we've got to, you know, they got to stop the spread of all these rumors and all of this other stuff that's going along with Odell Beckham Jr. and Lamar Jackson. And we just got to get these stories finished. Let's get them done. Let's get everybody on the same page. And if both these guys end up in Baltimore, I mean, bye-bye to both those stories. Lamar's there long-term. Odell Beckham's there long-term. And now we can focus on some of the other stuff that's out there.
I'm just tired of people wearing masks, too, when they're handling these situations. Like, take the mask off. Just let's talk about, you know, getting these deals done.
Agreed.
You know, don't try to be someone you're not, you know?
Dang, you went all the way.
What?
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, let's forget the Hobbit hole stuff. Let's just go ahead and let's just get these deals done. Let's move forward.
The rubber gloves.
Yeah. Those as well too. Yeah, those always help.
Yeah.
So there it is.
The blue ones.
I mean, that's where things stand on the latest saga involving Odell Beckham Jr.
I have the powder on the inside.
Yeah. That powder is a little bit annoying as well too.
It has to. You can't get the glove on in the first place if it doesn't have powder.
You wouldn't be able to get it on.
Yeah, I guess that makes some sense.